What's good with y'all? Welcome to my latest gameplay of Tomodachi Live. This your boy Savage Station 22, and before we all go ahead and get started, I know what y'all might be thinking. Hey yo, it's been about like almost 6 months since you did a gameplay of Tomodachi Live. What was going on? Alright, so let me explain. Right after I did that Tomodachi Live Christmas extravaganza back on Christmas Eve of 2022, right? So I gave myself a break for the rest of December until around 2023. I would get back into making like more gameplays and whatnot. So, and of course, like after I received that PlayStation Store gift card, well, I think it was, well, if I remember correctly. But anyways, so I went up on the PlayStation Store and bought 2 games for the PlayStation 4. One being Jak 2, another one of the Jak and Daxter video games, and the other being Mega Dimension Neptunia V2. Well, so far I've only done about like 5 gameplays of both of those games. I'm planning on jumping back with more of these, but before I do, I may explain more about this during the fountain donation thingy, but in the meantime, let's check out what's good with the Me News. Alright, Me News, what's the report?
Hello and welcome to the morning edition of Me News.
Alright, what's going on?
A UFO was spotted on Autobahn plains today.
I think I've already seen this before.
Is it a plane? No, it's Yuna. These could have been the words that onlookers might have said. Most people could probably tell that the object was just a flying Yuna.
Wow.
We asked some islanders for their thoughts on the matter.
For real.
Be a bit more enthusiastic.
That's the new story I've been waiting my whole life to see.
Thanks for watching. For your 7 o'clock Me News, this is Yuki Nagato, signing off.
Anyway. Okay, so back to the main topic about the PlayStation gameplays that I've always been posting on my channel. So okay, so most of the time I've been doing Everybody's Golf and Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Oh, and yeah, speaking of Everybody's Golf, I also bought that game from the PlayStation Store. I thought it'd be really cool to try it out, because, you know, why not? So yeah, I've been mainly hooked on to both of those games. So, now that I mentioned Spyro Reignited Trilogy, so I've managed to complete the second Spyro game in the Reignited Trilogy. You know, Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage. So, after gathering that head bash ability, I went back to, like, a few of the levels in Autumn Plains that require the head bash. So, gathered about a few orbs here and there, then went back to Winter Tundra, completed the last of the remaining levels, including that Speedway level, then faced up against Ripto, and, well, that's about it for Spyro 2. And here I am, with getting myself started with the third Spyro game, Spyro Year of the Dragon on Reignited Trilogy. So, I've only done about, so far, I think the total in Spyro Reignited Trilogy, I think that's about like 48 gameplays I did, maybe? I'll have to check, because, well, I'm kind of giving myself a break from doing some of the gameplays of Spyro Reignited Trilogy, because, well, I want to catch up with a few of my other favorite games. I've also been hooked on the PlayStation 4 as well. I've also managed to complete Uncharted: Drake's Fortune, the first Uncharted game, but even though it's just part of the Nathan Drake collection, so. And then of course I show that punk-ass Navarro and his troops what's up. Because you know how all that shooting and all that fighting goes. Considering that Uncharted is not only just your average typical platformer, well, I guess I would say it's also a third-person shooter, even though it is. So now with that out of the picture, I'm just giving myself a break from playing Uncharted until the day I get myself started with the second Uncharted video game, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. And as for Gravity Rush, so like, after completing episode 17, I took the time to complete episode 18, and now with that out of the way, so now with episode 18 completed, I'm willing to see how I can get through with episode 19. Well, before I do, I just want to gather like a whole ton of gems just to like upgrade. Mainly my health is one thing I want to upgrade. The micro black hole, one of the abilities, maybe that I also want to upgrade as well. And for the recovery, that I also want to upgrade as well, so. And after gathering a whole ton of gems, I've gathered about like 25, well not just 25, I think it was like 1,000 gems so far, so. I might have to check just to see how many gems I've gathered, because there's a saying that I may never know what could come up, especially if I'm gonna have to fight through a shitload of Nevi, or the Nevi, however the fuck they're pronounced. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, speaking of everybody's golf, so, I'm still on rank 4. I've managed to, like, play in some tournaments and competed against a few of my opponents that were, like, on ranks 1, 2, and 3. Well, I've also faced up my first opponent on rank 4. I mean, next time I get back up on everybody's golf on the PlayStation 4, I'm just gonna go face up my next opponent on rank 4, and then, like, compete in more tournaments. Even though I'm still getting, I've been, like, getting the hang of that game ever since I bought it from the PlayStation Store. And honestly, yeah. And I think after I complete the last 3 episodes of Gravity Rush on the PlayStation 4, one of these days, if I ever buy a PlayStation Store gift card, I'm willing to go up on the PlayStation Store, and of course try out Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. Now, I mean, I've never really played any rhythm games before, but for Hatsune Miku Project Diva X, I'm willing to give that a try. My girlfriend Saori suggested me I should try out Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. I mean, I was talking to her about my favorite games that I've been playing on the PlayStation 4, and she thought I could, try out one of the other games. Well, she loves hearing about some of my favorite games that I play on the PlayStation 4. Oh! Sorry about that. Okay, so today's total I have here is $271. As for me, I got $11,962.03. Well, I guess that's not so bad, ain't it? But anyways, let's go see what the Islanders are doing. Okay, let's see. So we got a flower hat and a cafe. Nice. Haven't bought a cafe yet, but I might eventually. Anyways, let's go see what the Islanders are up to. Huh. I see that Sam's up to something. What's up?
I can't believe you haven't stopped by for 2 whole months.
Oh, and yeah, I almost forgot to mention. There'd be, like, times I would play Tomodachi Life just for, like, the fun of it. If I'm not, like, doing any playthroughs of it. Yeah. Sorry if I had to bring that up, but anyways, what you want, Sam?
I'd like a new hat.
Okay, you want a new hat. Let me see what I can find.
Welcome.
No. Maybe a sunflower beret? I don't think
Come back soon.
I've ever given you this before, but let's see. See if you'll like it. Of course! I knew you'd love it. Oh shit, this isn't looking good. Well, of course, literally of my every other Tomodachi Life playthroughs
I'm in kind of a bad mood
is when
today.
my islanders get into, like, fights with one another. I mean, I already saw what just happened, so... Shit, what do I do? Okay, just a music box.
I'm gonna listen to this right now.
Okay, so with the music box going on, there's also another thing I want to talk about. And yes, it's about PlayStation. I know it's ironic that I'm doing a playthrough of a Nintendo game, and yet here I am talking about PlayStation. But anyways, how many of you have heard about that new PlayStation handheld console that's coming? You know, the Q-Lite? So I've read up some information about it, and from what I've read, I think the Q-Lite is like a companion to the PlayStation 5. I mean, I don't have a PlayStation 5, but if I do get one, then I should be good. I mean, one day, if I ever do get a PlayStation 5, then, like I was saying, one day if I ever do get a PlayStation 5, one of the games I would really love to try out on the PlayStation 5 is definitely Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I mean, since I've managed to complete Ratchet and Clank the PlayStation 4 Reimagine, like a year ago, I really want to see what Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart holds for me. You get where I'm getting at. I mean, I know there's like other Ratchet and Clank video games out there. Like the first one on the PlayStation 2, which I've seen playthroughs of on YouTube without commentary. And Ratchet and Clank 2. And I'm currently watching some playthroughs of the third Ratchet and Clank video game on YouTube as well. So, yeah. I mean, I've been hooked onto the Ratchet and Clank series since like around January 2021. And it was like watching the playthroughs of the first video game that was like on the PlayStation 2 and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway. Besides Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and Gravity Rush, I've seen some gameplays of the first Sly Cooper video game. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Yeah, so I've been watching some of it on YouTube without any commentary. But anyway.
Such a relaxing melody. Doesn't it put you at ease?
Yeah, I'll say it does.
I feel a lot calmer now. I'm going to try to patch things up.
Because then again, about the PlayStation handheld consoles, I've never had a single PlayStation handheld console in all my life. Not the portable, nor the Vita.
I'm sorry about what happened. I'm sorry too.
Boy, I sure am glad I didn't have to hear the other one. You know, where she says, that I'm still not over it, or whatever.
We made up. Thanks for your help.
Hey, no problem.
Here, I want you to have this.
Okay, let me see. Oh, shit. Oops. But anyway.
I caught a cold. I don't feel so good.
Alright, the medicine works.
Looks like my fever's gone down.
Hell yeah. Okay. Anybody else having anything? Okay, so I see that Mommy-san is hanging out with Rachel.
It's been so long, lips look alike. Am I really that boring?
What? No! I never said you were boring. It's just I've been having my own thing going on outside of Tomodachi
I'm
Live.
hungry.
Alright, if you say so.
Welcome. Have a nice day.
Alright, you too. I don't think I've ever given Mommy tea. Have I? No, I haven't. And she liked it. Of course.
Here, I want you to have this.
Oh, really? What you got? A swing. Neat. Alright, Kyoko Sakura.
So good to see you mix look alike. It's been 2 months.
Yeah, I know. It's just I've been having my own things going on outside of Tomodachi Live. So, okay, so since you're hungry, have some of this escargot, even though I don't think I've ever given you it. And you seem to like it.
Here, I want you to have this.
Okay, what do you have? Alright. Stomach medicine, just in case if any of the islanders get, like, stomach aches and whatnot. Alright, Kyrie. I can see what you need.
You scared the hiccups right out of me.
I'm sorry about that, but what's up?
I'd like to introduce Sailor Moon to somebody.
Oh, really?
How about Sailor Mars?
Oh, yes!
What should we talk about to help them get along?
Maybe it's just small talk, because
I'll invite them both over.
I don't know what they would talk about anyway. Oh, and yeah, speaking of which, so I noticed I've noticed I haven't watched any episodes of the Viz Media English dub of Sailor Moon in a long while. And the last episode I watched was episode 13, so I'm willing to get back with it eventually. Again, it's just that I've been so busy.
They didn't really hit it off.
Oh, god damn it. Really? They didn't even hit that off? That's bullshit. Okay, Sailor Venus.
Is that you, Nix look alike? I can't recall the last time we talked.
I think the last time we talked was during the... I think it was around during the Tomodachi Life Christmas extravaganza. What's up?
I want to be friends with Natalie.
Okay. That's good.
What should I do to get along with her?
Just keep it brief.
Thanks for the advice. I'll go talk to her right now.
Okay. So I think we might be settled. Alright. Whew. Alright, it went great.
It worked. We're friends now thanks to you. Here, I want you to have this.
Okay. Alright, Nagihiko.
Wow, it's Nick's look-alike. What a rare treat this is.
That's right. What's up, bro?
I need a hat I can wear when playing sports.
I bet. Let me see what I can find you.
Welcome.
How about this?
Come back soon.
Sports visor. I figured you'd love it. Well, that works. Really? Oh, nice. Thanks. Anybody else having anything? Okay, Mimori Togo. I noticed I haven't also
Where
watched
have you been, Nick's look-alike? I can't believe it's you.
busy stuff. What's up?
I need to sneeze, but it won't come out.
Okay.
Phew,
Got it!
that's better.
Let's go!
Phew, what a relief. Thank you.
Hey, no problem at all. Glad I was here to help.
Here, I want you to have this.
Alright, what do you got for me? Okay, Sailor Neptune and Jasmine. Well, Sailor Neptune, actually, since it's her
I
apartment.
can't recall the last time we talked.
I think it was like around almost 6 months ago,
I'm hungry.
I think. But alright, I see that you're hungry, so let me see what I can find you.
Welcome. Have a nice day.
Sheesh, it's hard to believe that Sailor Mercury is like working at the store. Okay, so I got you some of them pancakes, so let's see. How the fuck do you not like them? Okay, so Konata wants to play a minigame. Oh, not this fucking catching minigame. Sometimes I'm good with it, and sometimes I'm bad with it. Oh!
Nice catch.
Hey! Gotcha.
You did it. Congratulations. This is for you, Nick's look-alike. Enjoy.
Alright, what you got? Oh yeah, it's that rubber ducky that I caught. Alright, Marciano. Oh, I forgot. I had him on my game
I
here.
can't believe it's you, Nick's look-alike. It's been forever.
I know. It's just, I've been having a
Can I
lot.
tell you something impressive about my darling?
Oh, you mean Asuka? Nichikado? Go for it!
It's not every day you meet a gal as special as my beloved Asuka. She could totally be a professional model. I'm not just saying that because I'm her boyfriend. We sang karaoke together the other day, and her voice was so beautiful I started weeping. In fact, I'd like to make her voice my ringtone so I can hear her sweet song every day.
Aww.
She's amazing as me. She has to be silent as I ever. And she's always jealous of good kids. I guess such a wonderful sister, but when I see her close. So that's why no one can compare to my lovely lady friend.
Oh. I don't know why this game kind of has to fast forward.
It feels good to get that off my chest.
Like, for real. But yeah, that's really impressive. So, let me see what you got, Tadase. You having anything?
It's been too long, Nick's look-alike. Do you even recognize me?
Of course I do. It was good.
I don't really know much about this Haruhi character.
For real.
What do you think about me and Haruhi?
I would say nothing
Oh, I
special.
see. That's too bad.
Even though you literally just said you don't really know much about Haruhi. And I already know where you're gonna go with this. Well, not exactly, I was just pulling that off as a statement. Ah, yes. Sure is nice to see me and my girl, Sayori. In our own home. On this game. Okay. Okay, back to... Even though we may not have any problems. Well, I guess there isn't really much to do on this game. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the gameplay right here. Oh, and before I do wrap it up, one more thing I want to talk, and yes, it's about PlayStation once again. So, so about the Q Lite. I did read up an article where it talked about that it's going to be a companion to the PlayStation 5. I know I've already said that, and even though I already said that I don't have a PlayStation 5, but maybe if I do get one day, then, well, I'm definitely wanting to try out that new Ratchet & Clank game that came out like 2 years ago. You know, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So... and like I said, I never had a single PlayStation handheld console in all my life. Not the portable nor the Vita. So, speaking of the PlayStation Portable, I still have the PlayStation Portable emulator on my phone. I mean, it's been a while since I've done a playthrough of Suzumiya Haruhi no Yakusoku. Has it? And, well, maybe I'll get back with that. Oh, and another thing. You may also be asking me why am I doing another Tomodachi Life gameplay? Well, I know on one of my community posts that I made a couple of days ago, I know I've listed what kinds of games I would do next on the PlayStation 4, so I've already did my playthrough of Gravity Rush episode 18, so... And like I said, before I do get with episode 19, I'm gonna have to gather a whole lot of gems, just in case, if I end up having to go through any more of this challenging bullshit. You know, the Navi, because there's a saying that things are gonna be a lot difficult and stuff, so... so yeah. Well, I guess that's all the time I have for today. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to your boy for more videos, and I'm gonna see you on my next playthrough, or whatever I might do next. So, peace, thank you, and goodbye!